Myrosya and the Flea. One sunny day, Myrosya the cow was strolling around the village of Pesky. She was walking along the road where the cars were driving. The drivers were honking her, beep, beep, but she didn't pay any attention to them. Her head was lifted up and she was enjoying the weather. So she was walking and walking, and then, bang! A pile of poo-poo fell to the center of the road just in front of the cow. Then another pile, bam! And one more, bam! A dog who was running near Myrosya barked in surprise. Woof, woof! What's happening? This poo-poo bomb almost popped on me. He shook his head, brrr, and scratched his ear, rustle, rustle. And while he was scratching, the flea that was sitting near the dog's ear jumped, and with a puff of wind was taken to Myrosya's back. Myrosya the cow didn't realize what had just happened. The flea settled in her fur with pleasure. Do you know who the flea is? It is a tiny little bug that likes to bite the animals and drink their blood. The place where the flea bites starts itching a lot. There are bugs who like to invade people as well. They are called lice and usually live in the hair of people and crawl on their heads. So Myrosya was strolling farther along the road. Suddenly, something bit her under the shoulder. Oh! Exclaimed Myrosya and continued walking. Aye! Again something pricked her on the back. Ouch! Screamed Myrosya when something bit her once again. Myrosya swished her tail around, swish, swoosh, trying to chase away someone from her back. But she couldn't. Myrosya got scared. Somebody was eating her, biting off her skin and eating alive. The flea traveled all the way to the cow's back and jumped on her neck. Jump! Myrosya hopped and started to run. The hoofs went click-clock, click-clock. Moo! Somebody is biting me! She screamed and started running even faster. She got to the barn, found her friend Matty the mouse, and growled, Matty the mouse, somebody is biting me! Moo! The mouse came closer to Myrosya and said, Let me have a look. Myrosya bent her head to help Matty the mouse get on her back. Once there, the mouse scratched the fur of the cow and saw a bug. Uh-oh! There's some bug biting you. Get it out from me, please! Moo! Pleaded Myrosya. Matty stretched his little paw to the tiny flea to catch it. The flea turned around, saw the paw, and snap! Bit the toe of the mouse. Hi, hi! Oi, oi! Squeaked Matty the mouse, pulled away his paw from the flea, and jumped down from Myrosya. Oh, there is a terrible bug on your neck. It has almost bitten off my paw. Squeak! Myrosya, I'm afraid of it. I don't know how to help you, said Matty the mouse. Myrosya came up to the porch of the house and hit the door with her horns. Candy the cat looked out from the house. Moo! Meow! Myrosya? What's up? Hey, listen, do you remember when you had fleas? Asked Myrosya. Meow? Yes, and the old lady chased them away. Exactly. Moo! How did she do it? Asked Myrosya. Look, do you see a leash on my neck? It scares all the fleas away from me, and they don't bite me anymore. Candy the cat pointed at his neck. Do you have another one for me, Moo? Asked Myrosya. No, unfortunately I don't have extra. And can you lend me yours then? Asked Myrosya. No, if I give you mine, then all the fleas will attack me and I will be itching all over again. No, thanks. Meow. He turned around and went away. Myrosya was desperate. We need to run to the forest and ask the animals there. They should know how to fight the fleas, said Myrosya and started off running there. Moo! Moo! Help me! Help! The squirrel jumped out of her hollow, saw Myrosya and asked, Hello, Myrosya, what has happened? The flea is biting me! Moo! Shouted Myrosya in panic. Oi, oi! Don't come closer to me then! It can jump on me too! Screamed the squirrel and hurried back inside her hollow. Myrosya continued running. Maybe the hare will help me, she thought. She came closer to him and told about her problem. The hare stopped chewing his carrot and made one large hop away from the cow. Ick! Don't come closer, please. I'm afraid of the fleas. My grandpa spent a lot of time in the nearby swamp trying to get rid of them. He turned around and jumped away. If the fleas are afraid of the swamps, then I should run there as well, thought Myrosya and headed towards the swamp. At the swamp, she plunged into the mud and waited. Nothing happened at first, so she waited. Everything was quiet. She waited more, and then she felt like the flea jumped out of the mud into Myrosya's horns and started to bite her skin on the head. Myrosya fully plunged into the mud. Only her nose was sticking out of the swamp. The flea jumped on the nose, crawled inside it, and started to bite Myrosya from in there. Snip! 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 Myrosya the cow got scared even more. She jumped out of the swamp as fast as she could. The flea jumped back on the cow's shoulders. Myrosya thought, what to do? Probably I need a kind of a straw, so that when I dive fully into the swamp, I can take it in my mouth and breathe through it. So she found a straw, took it into her mouth, and plunged fully into the water. However, the flea was a clever creature. It already knew that the cow liked to dive into the water, so it made some kind of a cocoon on Myrosya's fur that protected the flea from the mud. Myrosya was sitting under the water hoping that the flea would run away from her, and the flea was sitting in her cocoon waiting for Myrosya to get out and was biting her again and again. Myrosya got very frustrated. She got out of the swamp and decided to find Billy the goat and Wood Fairy. That was her last hope. When she saw them, they were playing a jumbo game. Myrosya was running so fast that even the ground under her hoofs was shaking. Once she approached them, their jumbo towers scattered around. Billy the goat and Wood Fairy frowned. Moo! Help me! The flea is eating me! Shouted Myrosya at the top of her voice. Wood Fairy said, how interesting. Meanwhile, Billy the goat, after hearing about the fleas, rushed quickly to the wooden house, slammed the door shut and screamed, Don't come closer to me, meh! You are contagious, meh! The fleas can jump on me too and lay eggs in my fur, many eggs. And once the little fleas appear from those eggs, they will all start biting. It is horrible, meh! Myrosya got even more desperate. She sat on the grass and started to cry. Boo! Moo!
What shall I do now? Moo.
Don't worry that much, said Wood Fairy. I know how to help you. I have a special ointment that will scare away all the fleas from you. She got into her house, took a jar with creamy stuff in it, and started to put it on the cow's fur and skin. Myrosya's body started to itch everywhere where the ointment was.
Oh, moo! What is it? Why is it so itchy? Oh!
It shouldn't itch, said Wood Fairy, and opened the instruction sheet for this ointment. Oh, it is an ointment for radiculitis, not against the fleas, she said. I confused the ointment against fleas with this one. Sorry, Myrosya.
What shall I do now?
Myrosya started to cry again. Wood Fairy thought for a minute and then said, There is another way to get rid of fleas. We have to cut your fur. Fleas live only if there is hair or fur. If we cut it, the flea won't have a place to live in.
Do whatever it takes, Moo. I can't bear those fleas' bites anymore, said
Myrosya. Wood Fairy found a special shear in her house and snip, 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 she cut all the cow's fur. Myrosya listened to her feelings. Shh, quiet. Nothing happened. No one bit her. The flea was gone.
Hooray! Thank you, Wood Fairy, for the help,
she exclaimed, relieved. Billy the goat went out of the house, looked at Myrosya and smiled. Myrosya, you look naked, meh?
It doesn't matter how I look, moo. The most important thing is that fleas don't bother me anymore.
With these words, she turned around and slowly went back to the barn. The old lady saw Myrosya when she was approaching the barn. She ran to the cow, hugged her, and patted on the head. Myrosya, what happened? Did you get scared so much that you lost all your fur? Oh, don't worry, it will grow back soon, my dear. The old lady took Myrosya to her stall, gave her fresh grass to chew, a bucket of water to drink, patted her once again on the head, and left. Moo, said Myrosya and fell asleep. That day, she learned that the most effective way to get rid of fleas is cutting off all the fur on animals or hair on people. In order to keep fleas far away from your body, you need to wash your head thoroughly with a shampoo on a regular basis. The end.